And why have the Chargers not signed Cam Newton yet? That is going to be a big question and a topic of conversation today around all places. Cam Newton is obviously meant to be a Charger. Now, am I the only one saying this? No, there's others that are saying it. And the others that are saying it aren't always right. And I'm not always right either. I thought Tom Brady was going to be a Charger. And the reason why I thought the Chargers would be in the market for a big-name quarterback is because it's going to look bad in that stadium next year. It could look very, very bad. Now, we had Austin Eckler on the show a couple days ago, and he talked about how at the StubHub Stadium where the MLS team plays, the Los Angeles Galaxy or whatever, and that's where the Chargers were playing, and it was kind of an empty stadium for a couple games, and then there was a lot of away teams fans in the stadium, and it looked bad for the Chargers. It was like the Chargers for the last couple years in LA have had away games every single week. It's just the way it's gone. I mean, you already know Phil Rivers was driving from San Diego to LA. He was their starting quarterback. I mean, it hasn't been a smooth transition in Los Angeles. Austin Eckler said that since the stadium was so small, the prices were all the way jacked up. So the Chargers fans, even though there might have been more than it appeared on television, weren't willing to spend like $1,000 for them and their family to go to a game, which makes a lot of sense, by the way. So in a bigger stadium next year with cheaper prices, you'd hope. Who knows how the pricing of tickets is going to go after this entire world that we're living in right now. Will they be able to sell more tickets next year in that brand new stadium? Or are they going to be an empty stadium like the Rams were at the beginning whenever they were in the Coliseum way back in the day? This is all very interesting. And you would think Cam Newton, a guy Anthony Lynn likes a mobile quarterback, Tyrod Taylor's already there. If Cam Newton is healthy at the age of 30, which a physical he just took in Atlanta says he is healthy and hungrier than he's ever been to reprove himself, because I think he thinks that the Carolina Panthers potentially screwed him. Screwed Cam Newton. Didn't let him go earlier. They actually made the announcement that they're going to go forward with Cam Newton as their quarterback after meeting with him and chatting with him. And that might have been a decision that they didn't fully know yet, but they wanted to say that just to give the optics that they were set. So if somebody wanted to trade for Cam Newton, they would be in a better leverage position. Maybe that's what they were doing. But instead, what they end up doing is they end up cutting him after a lot of signings happen, after a lot of openings are already filled. Nick Foles already went to the Bears, right? Now, it came out that the Carolina Panthers were trying to deal Cam Newton to the Bears but couldn't get anything in return. So we'll find out if that's true or not. But Nick Foles goes to the Bears. Phillip Rivers goes to the Colts. Tom Brady obviously goes to Tampa. If Cam Newton's name was out there, would Cam Newton been a topic of conversation for all these people? I would assume. Because now Cam Newton's the topic of conversation for Dolphins fans, Jaguars fans, Chargers fans, potentially Patriots fans. I don't know if Bill Belichick would love Cam Newton, but maybe he would. I don't know. I have never played for Bill Belichick, and I've never been a teammate of Cam Newton's. I've only got to watch the Amazon Prime thing where he is a awesome. It seems like every day he has the energy. He's dancing. He's loud. He's the guy. He is your team's maestro. I watched him whenever he played us down there in Carolina. He was the maestro of the entire state of Carolinas. He was just everything he wanted to do. It was like what Peyton used to do. When Peyton, we had the ball on offense and there was a successful play and they were trying to run hurry up and everybody was cheering, Peyton would do this number and the entire state of Indiana would shut up. Babies would stop crying in hospitals. That's what happened whenever Cam Newton was orchestrating that game that night. That was whenever he was flying for like 6 yards at a time. That was when his celebrations were 5 to 6 minutes long. Somehow, some way, his celebrations were longer than everybody else's, and he gave a ball to everybody, right? So I think that's why the NFL couldn't crack down on him, because they allowed celebrations. Were his getting a little bit long? I'm sure Roger Goodell, every time he was watching him, was just like looking at his clock like, are we done? Are we done? Are we done? And then he would give the ball to the child, and Roger's like, can't do anything about that because he just gave away 400 balls basically to children. But I think Cam Newton is a guy that would be a perfect face of a franchise if you're going to a new stadium for the Chargers. We said that about Tom Brady too, and we were wrong. Had no idea he was going to end up a Tampa Bay Buccaneer. I don't think Tampa Bay Buccaneers knew that Tom Brady was going to become a Buccaneer, but I think Cam Newton is a guy you want on your team. I mean, we talked to Ted Ginn Jr. just yesterday, who I'm a massive Ted Ginn Jr. fan. I'm going to try to get his jersey the next place to go, put it up in the office somewhere.
I like that.
He was good. I did not expect Ted Ginn Jr. to be as awesome as he was yesterday. He just wants to play football. He said Cam Newton, whoever gets him is getting a guy that's a champ. He said he got to watch him. He got to do the whole thing. I'm pumped up for that. But will the Chargers make that move? Tom Telesco, the general manager of the Chargers, is he a guy from the Bill Polian tree that would want his quarterback to be a very charismatic quarterback in Los Angeles? He said he can move forward with Tyrod Taylor. Like Diggs said right before we went live, why not just give him a 2-year deal, front-loaded? If it doesn't work out, you're off the hook after another year. Maybe you guys, if it doesn't work out good enough, maybe you guys are in the Trevor Lawrence sweepstakes.